Hello and welcome back to Transfer Talk, where we bring you up to date with all the biggest rumours. The window may have shut throughout Europe on Monday, but that doesn't mean the gossip is slowing up by any means. And remember, if you hear anything yourself, remember to tweet me at Doogie Critchley or the Football Daily account. And make sure you click the notification button to keep up to date with all the football news for every video we upload. We start this week where, let's be honest, we started most weeks over the summer, at Old Trafford. Already ramping up to the January window, Man United have their eyes on two of Portugal's brightest young talents, Ruben Dias and Florentino Luis, both at Benfica. Firstly, Ruben Dias has been attracting suitors for a while now, with Arsenal reportedly quoted £35 million for the 22-year-old this time last year. Fast forward 12 months and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has reportedly already had one approach for the centre-back turned down, Benfica now not willing to budge from the £60 million release clause set out in his contract. Dias will surpass 100 appearances for the Eagles before the end of the year and already has 11 caps for Portugal to his name. There's no reason for Benfica not to hold out for the full amount. Florentino Luis, however, is a lot newer on the scene, only making his debut for the first team in February, but had racked up over 70 appearances for both the club's B team and various Portugal youth teams. As a holding midfielder, the 20-year-old certainly fits a hole in the United setup, and in his 15 appearances so far, he has put up a monstrous 7.1 tackles and interceptions per 90. If Man United make the move for this Portuguese pair, they could be putting up over £100 million to secure their signatures, an outlay which would lay the foundations for the side for the next decade. Keeping it in Manchester for the next story, where crosstown rivals Man City are looking to beat United to the signing of Norwegian Wonderkid Eriksen. Both sides sent scouts to watch the 19-year-old in a 3-1 victory last month. The midfielder has been integral to his side's title challenge in the top division, where they find themselves just 1 point behind Solskjaer's old club Molde with 10 games to go. In his first season as a consistent starter, he has scored 9 and assisted 4 more, and also finds himself on the wish list of clubs like Ajax and Anderlecht. One of the standout performers in the Norwegian top flight this campaign, it'd be a surprise if he is still there come the start of next year. After a summer of upheaval, especially in defensive areas, Juventus was scrambling for a last-minute addition to their backline after talisman Giorgio Chiellini tore his ACL in a training session last week. Ultimately, they failed in their search for a starting centre-back, but the old lady were close to signing Bayern Munich's Jerome Boateng. Reportedly, a deal had been agreed between chiefs at the Munich and Turin clubs over a season-long loan, as the German international is set to spend the campaign as backup to Luka Hernandez and Niklas Süle. However, Boateng, who turned 31 yesterday, who is yet to feature for Niko Kovac's side this season, refused to make the move and wants to fight for his place at the Allianz Arena. The old lady did make one deadline day signing though, bringing in North Korean international striker Han Kwan-song from Cagliari. The 20-year-old, the first from his nation to both play and score in Serie A, will link up with the club's under-23 team. Briefly a part of Barcelona's academy as a 13-year-old, Han scored 11 goals in 37 appearances on loan with Perugia in the last 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Emre Can could be a player on the way out of northern Italy. Despite the window closing, reports are saying that Barcelona are in talks with the Italian champions over a possible swap deal for Ivan Rakitic. The 25-year-old made 29 Serie A appearances last campaign, but with only 30 minutes of football so far this season and having missed out on their Champions League squad, he could be as low as 6th in the pecking order, with Ramsey yet to return from injury. The window being shut means that, at least in the short term, Christian Eriksen's future has been settled. The 27-year-old will see out the season at Tottenham Hotspur before almost certainly leaving North London next summer. The Dane also had his say on the matter at a training camp with his nation, stating, "I wish I could decide myself, like you can do in Football Manager, but this is football and you will never know what happens." This is worrying news for Spurs fans, as he's featured in all 4 games so far this season and netted in the derby against Arsenal. But Spurs fans, we want to hear from you. With the signings of Ndombele and Giovanni Lo Celso, do you guys think you've got enough midfield resources to cope with the loss of Eriksen, or do you need to sign a superstar midfielder next year? Let us know, as ever, down below. Moving on to the international scene now, and whilst obviously players can't make moves, managers can, and the rumour doing the rounds this week is that Phil Neville might be hopping across the pond to take up the role of manager with the USA. Current coach Ellis has announced she will be stepping down and won't be taking Team USA to the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. As part of Ellis moving on, she will have input into choosing her successor and has been extremely impressed with the job Neville has done since taking up the role with the Lionesses at the beginning of 2018. It's unknown whether the 42-year-old is interested in the role, and being under contract with the FA until 2021, Neville certainly has unfinished business right at home. However, after dodgy results against Belgium and Norway recently, perhaps it's time the Lionesses and Neville made a split. Finally, here's one move that most of the Premier League actually appear happy to see happen: the transfer window itself. Back in 2017, Premier League clubs voted to shut the window prior to the opening day of the season, which meant this campaign it shut on August the 8th, hoping other leagues would follow suit. Of course, none did, meaning they all had another 3 weeks to finalise their summer business. Both Jurgen Klopp and Mauricio Pochettino are amongst the managers in favour of this move, which would see the English game lined back up with those on the continent. If a vote is held to reverse this decision, a simple majority of 11 clubs would need to approve it. Seems pretty likely to us. But what do you guys think about this potential to vote? Would you rather see that England keep their current system or go back to what the Europeans do? Vote in the poll above. So that was all we've got time for on Transfer Talk this week. What did you guys think of the stories? Did I miss any out? I know it's a slightly dodgy week with both windows now being shut, but we've got to make do, people. Let us know what you guys think about Eriksen potentially moving on next summer and whether Spurs need to sign a replacement, and what you guys think about whether the Premier League window should be brought back in line with European clubs. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye!